What would happen if you stopped sleeping? Days turn to weeks, weeks into months, then years, then decades, and somehow, you're still alive. This isn't science fiction. This is a story of one man from rural Vietnam, who claimed he hasn't slept since 1973. His name is Thai Ngoc. But is it real? Or just a myth born in the hills of Vietnam and carried across the world by whispers and wonder? Over the next hour, we dive into a mystery that defies science, stuns medical experts, and stands as one of the most baffling unsolved human stories of our time. Thai Ngoc was born in 1942, in a remote farming village nestled deep in Vietnam's Quang Nam province. To his neighbors, he's always been a quiet, hard-working man. A veteran of war, a humble rice farmer, a devoted father. But to the rest of the world, he's become something far more unbelievable. The man who hasn't slept in more than 50 years. Every village has its secrets. But Thai Ngoc's was impossible to ignore. He doesn't nap. He doesn't doze off in a chair. He doesn't even close his eyes to rest. According to him, and many who know him, he hasn't slept a single night since 1973. It began with a fever. A high, burning illness that struck him down suddenly. After some time he recovered. The fever passed. But something within him changed. That night, he lay in bed, and never fell asleep again. First he thought it would pass. Few restless nights, maybe. But the days turned into weeks. The weeks turned into months. And then, years. Strangely, he didn't suffer. In fact, he became more productive than ever. While the world around him slept, Thai Ngoc worked. What does life without sleep even look like? For him, it's endless motion. He wakes before sunrise and doesn't stop until long after the stars appear. He farms his land by moonlight. He chops wood in the darkness. He feeds the animals. Fixes roofs. Repairs fences. Pulls bricks. All without rest. Without a single moment of shut-eye. He claims he stays active simply because there's nothing else to do. When the rest of the world sleeps, he keeps going because he can't stop. His neighbors speak of him with a mix of awe and unease. Some say they've never seen him blink longer than a second. Others recall watching him tend his crops at 3 a.m., in complete silence, as if haunted by a force no one else could feel. One Vietnamese journalist once stayed by Thai Ngoc's side for 3 full days. Watching, waiting, observing. Not once did he witness the man close his eyes to sleep. Ngoc kept moving, kept working, chopping wood, tending to his land, feeding animals, as if time itself had no hold on him. No breaks. No rest. Just a quiet rhythm of relentless motion. He never slowed down. He never complained. And most disturbing of all, he never showed a single sign of exhaustion. There was no fatigue in his eyes. No signs of confusion. No mental breakdowns or physical collapses. Just calm, purposeful activity. It was unsettling. Almost inhuman. What made it even more disturbing was what we know about sleep. Or rather, what happens when we lose it. Sleep isn't a luxury. It's not optional. It's the body's primary repair mechanism. During sleep, memories are consolidated, muscles regenerate, the immune system recalibrates, and the brain cleans itself of toxins. It's the maintenance mode every living brain depends on to survive. Deprive someone of sleep for just 24 hours, and focus begins to slip. After 48, emotions become unstable, anxiety creeps in. By 72 hours, most people start hallucinating. Speech becomes unclear. The body begins to deteriorate. The mind starts to fall apart. Beyond that, things turn dangerous. Motor skills shut down. The immune system weakens. Cognitive function collapses. Prolonged sleep deprivation is not just uncomfortable, it's deadly. The longest period of voluntary medically observed sleeplessness ever recorded belongs to Randy Gardner, a 17-year-old student who stayed awake for 11 days in 1964. On day 5 he hallucinated. By day 10, he couldn't remember simple facts or recognize familiar faces. After 264 hours awake, he finally collapsed. Now consider this. Thai Ngoc claims he has stayed awake for over 18,000 days. More than 50 years. And unlike Randy Gardner, he didn't fall apart. He built a life. Routine. A system of productivity in the absence of rest. Despite decades of curiosity, Thai Ngoc has never undergone formal testing in a modern sleep lab. No EEGs. No polysomnography. No long-term brain monitoring. What exists are informal observations and years of unanswered questions. Over time, he's been examined by Vietnamese and foreign doctors. None had access to advanced sleep lab equipment, yet all were left confused. No signs of exhaustion, cognitive decline, or physical deterioration. He appeared completely healthy, alert, focused, and strong. Some theories have emerged. He might be experiencing microsleeps, brief, involuntary bursts of rest so short they go unnoticed. Others suggest rapid eye movement behavior disorder, where people enter altered sleep states without typical signs. There's also the idea that he could be sleeping with his eyes open, or lightly resting without realizing it. But without proper testing, it's all speculation. And then there's the final possibility. That Thai Ngoc is something rare. A genetic outlier. A biological exception the world wasn't ready to explain. Whether true or not, Thai Ngoc has become a symbol of endurance, mystery, and the hidden limits of the human body. Sleep remains one of neuroscience's last great frontiers. And Ngoc's story reminds us just how little we truly understand. Could anyone survive without sleep? Could Thai Ngoc be the exception? Or is this just a tale, distorted by time and fascination? We may never know. But one thing is clear. Thai Ngoc's story challenges what we think is possible. And sometimes that's where the real discoveries begin. What do you believe?